Hello and welcome to today's Opt to Thrive Manage Your Mind Mindful Moment.
Welcome to Opt to Thrive, your go-to podcast for women's wellness in midlife, designed to educate, support, and inspire you to live your very best life. And now your host, Dr. Karina Sims.
It's coming up to a year that Opt to Thrive has been in existence. And I've been reflecting on, what the last year has brought. I've gotten a lot of pretty amazing feedback. I have, in that time, started a menopause clinic here in our little regional town that went from twice a month, so every second week to start with, and then booked out a few months in advance. So I then added more appointments. So now I'm doing every week. I run a menopause clinic and it's booked out again for a good couple of months at a time. I've had women coming as far as 200 plus kilometers away just to see me for the menopause clinic. I have never been so fulfilled in my entire career than I have in the last year. I think it's the result of a few things. I have gotten to this place in my life where I think I recognize what's really important most of the time. I have such a good balance between the creative side of me that just really thrives on brainstorming and creating. And so in my job as a GP, I get to problem solve, which is one of my absolute loves. I love the human body. I love the way that it works. I'm always still truly fascinated with how it works. I have a real love of medicine in general. And so I get to do the part of my job where I get to help people and help them problem solve. I'm now doing a lot of creating. So creating these podcasts, I've developed a presence on social media, which I'm absolutely loving figuring out how to get this information out to people in a way that catches their attention and makes them want to stop and listen. And then I've got the menopause clinic, which is just my baby. It is filled every week with women who want to know more. They want to be empowered. They want to take charge of their bodies and their health. They want to know what they can do to live the best life that they can, to be the healthiest, to reduce their risks. And I think that's what happens. We spend half of our lives, I look at it in my mind as like a mountain. We're kind of coming up this mountain, and our youth, our strong, young, healthy bodies get us kind of up that mountain. And now we are at a place where we have some choices to make because our bodies now need some serious upkeep to continue to function in the best possible way. So we can choose to do absolutely nothing, as well as continue maybe with some habits that aren't serving us. So drinking too much alcohol, smoking, not exercising, not working your muscles, not managing your mental health, your stress, your sleep. Or you could do some of those things, or you could really embrace it and do all of those things. And those are three different roads. So we've reached the top of this mountain and we've got all of these different roads that are going to take us down the other side. And, there's some roads that are going to go a lot faster down that other side. And there are some roads that we can take that are a more gradual process, a more pleasant gradual process, hopefully. In my job, I have the fortune of being able to see where those roads lead. I've been doing this for 20 years. I can see very clearly paths that people take. And I am absolutely loving that these women are coming. They're recognizing that, where they're at is a real turning point in their lives. They have an opportunity now to be proactive and take that road that leads them to the best chance at the best possible outcome. And they're thirsty for knowledge. They want to know more. They want to be educated. They are coming, having had listened to the podcast. They're increasing their protein. They're looking at their fiber. I've got ladies who've never exercised who are exercising, and it makes me just want to cry. that I am just so thrilled to be making a difference, even if it's just in a handful of women, to change their trajectory of life, to improve the quality of life, increase the odds that they're going to have a long, healthy, functional life, that they're going to maintain their mobility, that they're not going to live those last years in this long, drawn out, horrible suffering process. The chances are much less if we do take the opportunities to look after our minds and bodies the best that we can. I had a patient recently who works in one of the nursing homes in the region, and we were talking about how the nursing home is mostly full of women who were there because they had had a fall, or they could no longer maintain their mobility on their own, or they had dementia. We live longer than the boys, but as I've said in different platforms, it's often with very poor quality of life. And so coming up to this year, I've just done a bit of reflecting about where I've come from and where I'm going, and reflecting on the experiences that I've had. Not only am I at this place in my career where I've never been so fulfilled, I've just got the balance so right, but physically, I have never been more in touch with my body in terms of how I feel, and listening to it and giving it what it needs to function well and to build these beautiful muscles that are going to look after me for as long as I'm fortunate enough to be here. I have never had a better relationship with food. I have finally, for the first time in my life, learned to manage an energy budget that I fought for many, many years, even denying the existence of an energy budget, which is why I yo-yoed with my weight for so long. And then, this gift of menopause showed me that I really need to take a different approach. And so today is pretty much just a bit of reflection and a great big thank you for all of you who have supported me along the way. I have no plans at this point to stop what I'm doing. I'm very slowly growing the presence of Opt to Thrive, and very slowly growing my presence on social media, and just loving every second and every step of the way. And I can see myself doing this for the long term. I am fully committed to helping as many women as I can not feel alone, feel heard and understood. I see you, I hear you, I fully understand and appreciate what you're going through in this midlife period. And I am an example of what is possible. I am lived experience, and I just want to shout it from the rooftops and help as many people as I can. So thank you. I hope you have a great week, everyone. And until then, I hope you opt to thrive.
The Opt to Thrive podcast is designed for information purposes only and is not engaged in the giving of medical advice. The information provided on the podcast should not be used for diagnosing or treating a health problem or disease. In no way should the information provided by Opt to Thrive be considered medical advice, and at all times the advice of a medical professional should supersede recommendations from Opt to Thrive. If you have or suspect you may have a health problem, you should consult your healthcare provider. The views expressed in this podcast are purely that of Dr. Sims and do not in any way reflect those of the institutions she contracts her medical services to.
Thank you for listening to Opt to Thrive. If you've enjoyed listening, please rate and share the podcast. You can visit our website at opttothrive.com and leave a comment for any subjects you would like to hear more about.